Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Monday morning. Beautiful day here in Ontario, Canada. In case you're a first-time watcher, that's where we're from, where we live half the year, and then we go to the United States for the other half of the year as Joey's a professional golfer. But here's where we do the show in the summertime. Beautiful outside again. It's starting to become an amazing summer. And we're talking about a sport that's outside as well. Car racing was a big weekend. It was F1 and IndyCar. We followed both of them. But Joe, honest to God, I mean, I'm watching the pre-show. I love the pre-show because that's about the cars, about the and about the good-looking people who are at the event. It's all about the fans, all that kind of stuff, right?
I like getting to talk to the drivers too.
And talking to the drivers, all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I watched the first 2 laps of F1, shut it off, watched the last 2 laps. Guess what? Same guys are at the top. Same guy wins. Gets through the first lap, and you win the race.
Hold up,
it's
though.
It's
what
just
did
crazy.
this prove yesterday? IndyCar is the same way on these road tracks.
Yeah, no passing.
It was no passing. So I want to give F1 a bit of a break because we've been on it about the fact that same guy wins. I must admit, though, in IndyCar exact same way because of these road tracks. So now I'm blaming the style of track they go. And at least F1's road tracks, by the way, are spectacular. I mean,
where they go.
And the cars. I must admit, there is something we're talking to my brother-in-law, your son-in-law, about, we must admit, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, or Honda and Chevy.
Yeah.
Or in Toyota. Like, it is a difference in cars.
Cool.
That's very high-end. This is very traditional American.
Yeah.
But they both provided boring races because of these road tracks.
Yeah.
And it was just like that in Toronto yesterday. Although I must say that a little bit more crashes because they ultimately have more people in each race. Plus, there is potential at the back for more passing than even F1. But yes, it was overall pretty boring. Congratulations to the winner, I guess. It's still a win.
Yeah, it's certainly,
and congratulations, by the way, to Lewis Hamilton, because even though we know he should win every race, it wasn't his hometown. There's always a little added pressure.
Yeah.
But they went nuts, by the way, to see him win. And the crowds that came out to watch are always fantastic, too, in F1. I'm astounded. They are shoulder to shoulder, and the support is huge. And he did have to pass his teammate at some point.
Oh, yeah. He had to pass one guy. So this is the thing for me. I watch all the pre-shows now. I can't stand watching the races. I don't have 2 hours to watch cars line up and follow each other around a racetrack. Almost no passing. They spend more time watching the guys that are in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th that are trying to get 1 point. That's where they go to because those guys are at least close to each other and trying to make a pass. But immediately, both Hamilton and his teammate, I forget the guy's name.
I think it's Bortis.
And I always saw the BOT.
Yeah, that's all I
don't even know about the
guy.
I don't
BOT,
care. Yeah, Hamilton wins every race, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to virtually screw up. So I would love to see them actually. All I really would care about is watch the whole pre-race show, and then do a highlight reel of the pit stops. That's the only excitement in the races, man. They come into those pits. I have never seen. I wish I could get an oil change done by those guys. Like they come in and 3 seconds later, they've changed all 4 tires, sent them back out. It was hilarious.
Great point. And now I have a sport to compare these two because they are sports, but another sport. It's soccer, right? If you watch soccer highlights, fantastic. But soccer, to me, the game is boring. Well, it's kind of like F1. If you watch the pits and the passes. Because every pass is so amazing, no matter where it is.
Yeah,
if you watch the pits and the passes and the starts, you could have a ball on highlights just in that alone.
We should actually check that highlight package because yesterday I watched the Blue Jays, who's our home MLB team, in 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Only
you don't mind watching it. Yeah, I don't
mind. They don't do any of the crap. No, they don't watch the guy come out and talk to the pitcher. They don't watch the change between innings, all this kind of stuff. It's just all the plays. And actually, even though the Blue Jays got beat, as they always get beat, the 30 minutes was entertaining because you saw some unbelievable plays.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, back to the racing. We're not talking about...
It might be a new racing show.
Yeah.
Post-game, F1, do this. For your post-game, do a 30-minute start, passes, and pits, and then show Hamilton winning at the end.
Yeah.
And that'd be a good recap.
The pre-game show is amazing at racing.
Dive in the car.
The cars are amazing,
listen
right?
to people talk about
and that's what's really cool. However, we just did our tennis show, and when you see the dominance of someone like Djokovic, at least I know that's because the guy works out. The guy is the best there is. it's all about the cars in F1. I mean, I remember years ago when Jacques Villeneuve went over after winning the IndyCar championship, went over, got in the right car, won the F1 championship, then signed with a new car that was trying to make their way on. He never even got a point the next year. So how can you be the best driver one year and not get a point the next year? It's because it's all about the cars. Which is okay if that's what you're looking for, which is my son-in-law only talks about the cars.
Me too, to be honest. I'd rather watch F1 over IndyCar.
So I watch the pre-shows of both races, and then I didn't need to watch the race. I mean, there's just
so in your opinion, right? Because we do get the odd IndyCar race on an oval. If you put F1 in
Indianapolis 500.
Oh, that's insane.
I mean, that's insane. Every race should be on an oval.
Every race.
Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
And from watching it, I've attended the IndyCar here in Toronto once. I've attended 4 NASCAR races. Give me NASCAR anytime they're going around that track.
But
the amount of change.
If you put F1 in an oval, F1 in an oval, do you think it would change?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh my God, like the amount of passes that happen because the oval tracks are big.
I agree.
They're slipstreaming behind each other to change.
I'd love to see
all
the
this
F1
kind of stuff.
cars in oval.
I'd love to see an F1 on an oval. I just like to see all racing on an oval. That's all I've got to say about it. Nothing against, like I said, cars are amazing. The guys who drive them are insanely brave guys to do what they do. Even though these days they've made the cars way safer, some of the accidents you see
310 kilometers per hour. I don't care how safe the car is.
So all that part's great. But you know what? The live show is a snore.
I'll give
the pits. I love the pits because I remember Indianapolis 500. The pits were crazy. And they were yesterday too, but they're so quick. The drivers can make mistakes in there. They're getting out and they're fighting to get back into a certain spot, so they're trying to get out of their pit. If a poor pit guy makes a mistake, he's probably fired on the spot because they're talking about 3 seconds to 5 seconds is like losing the lead.
But back to F1. I'll give them another credit, by the way. Their commentary team and their television coverage is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The commentators get me so revved up. I'm not even going to lie. They control most of it. And I said this about golf, listening to their golf commentators. They add an extra, because I feel they're less professional. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean in a good way. They're louder. They're more exciting. They come with weird things to say.
They announce more like a fan is what
I see. They're more of a fan. Like, even in the cars, like, when they get ready to start, like, the commentator literally has me going like, oh my God, because he gets it so pumped up, and he goes, and there's the green and the
But you can't blame them because once that's over, there's nothing else.
No, but even when like you hear him announce a 6th and 7th place battle, I swear to God, they're fighting for the win. I swear to God, like
I gotta tell you, I agree 100% with you there that they are doing everything they can.
Yeah, they're good.
It must be boring for them too to have Hamilton way out in front every single race. And then have to announce about the guys in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. It just is amazing, and they do a great job of that. But also, that's why I love darts in there. The announcers, again, are incredible.
Hey, man, darts should be boring in theory when you think of what they're doing, and think of the people there. But the way they allow the people to get involved, the announcer announcing when they get it's all come down to that. So F1, I'll give you credit. You put on a better show, even though we know the result. IndyCar is getting a little bit predictable itself right now with road course, but at least they have a few ovals. But I think they can improve on their show. I love the show of F1. You talk about the beginning. I love that. The start, by the way, the sitting start is fantastic.
Yeah,
and then,
I love that too.
Oh, the sitting start is nuts. And then obviously you have the commentators that can make literally any battle feel so amazing. So I must admit. Now, on the other hand of F1, Lewis Hamilton is 36 years old. They're talking about this. I want to say, I only know him as VER because that's what he is on the board. But his name is Verstappen. He's with, I believe
Verstappen, I think.
Verstappen. Yeah. He apparently is the next guy, by the way. He's at 21 years old.
Yeah.
There was another 18-year-old kid that they were going head-to-head, and they said that might be the future. So another question is, when does Lewis Hamilton get the boot?
Right.
When do they maybe bring this kid on? So there is good to see stars coming in the F1 series.
But of course, it'll be the same thing. They're going to get to the best team eventually.
No, but another great thing what F1 does is they've created a mega superstar in Lewis Hamilton. He's not just a top driver. He's a Federer or Tiger Woods of his sport. He's everywhere.
Without a doubt.
He's a huge mixer. So I'm just saying, like, each of these sports that are successful create someone like that who's more than their sport, which ultimately he is, which ultimately Tiger is. Federer, LeBron, and Michael Jordan are basketball. They're bigger than the sport. And they've done that with Hamilton. I just want to give a shout out to these kids. They might be the next one in line and maybe potentially dethrone Lewis Hamilton at some point. Maybe
it's going to
come eventually. When does Ferrari maybe take the next step? Right now, give Lewis Hamilton credit. He's made it work with 3 different companies, people.
Yeah.
Now, I know they've probably put in all the money they can once they get him. That's the point. But he's obviously been able to drive well enough, along with create his own fame, to get these teams to give him the max contract and put all the money into it, so his car is ultimately the best.
Yeah,
and
the best.
I just want to give the overall show an A. The finish, obviously, an F, because we already know what it is. But credit to the show and the atmosphere they built.
I'll tell you what was really exciting to see was Jackie Stewart. Jackie Stewart, I don't know, but I think he's got to be 80. He certainly looks like he's 80, so I'm gonna call it that. I loved watching him as a driver years and years and years ago. Just phenomenal driver. Obviously, a big deal that he's there for the crowd for that race. Had the beautiful plaid pants on, so colorful and all that. But great to see him there. Same with Rod Laver was at Wimbledon, which we didn't mention in our tennis show. But amazing to see these guys years and years and years. It was like Mario Andretti at the 500 this year. These are all. It's amazing to see these guys who drove way back when driving may not have been as dangerous. Maybe it was.
It was more dangerous, I bet.
But for sure. It was much more about the driver, and these guys were just phenomenal.
Now on IndyCar, it was in Toronto. Had a couple accidents around that one corner. Again, the start was fantastic. Those 3 guys wiped out. Simon Pagenaud got the win. There's a good points battle for the title this year, which is very, very cool. The teams are doing very well. What they've gone into, though, is the Chevys. It's not necessarily individuals, actually Chevys versus, I think they do Hondas.
Yeah.
And each week the ones got better. But their road track in Toronto was a little messy, caused a lot of problems, very exciting. The reason why I wanted to go back to the IndyCar was our Canadian did finish 6th. So good finish. Unfortunately, has not been able to win. No Canadians win since Paul Tracy. Also, Robert Wickens, who had a horrifying accident.
He's still paralyzed.
About a year ago. Still paralyzed, hoping to walk by his wedding. Was able to drive a car
amazing,
yesterday, which was very cool, with his wife, all buttons, as a virtually remote control. He's still hoping to get in a car, believe it or not, someday, and walk by his wedding. But it's very cool they did that for him. He got a great cheer from the crowd. Obviously, he's Canadian, so that's why they did it specifically at this event. So very awesome. Also, something that looks like a lot of fun is they've now created that 2-seater car. God, that looks like fun. They put a celebrity back there all the time. They're screaming with how fast these guys go. And the driver's like, this isn't even like, this is like fast. It's like traffic.
However,
so very cool.
Another funny story was I was watching again the pre-show, and they had the rookie in that one. I'm forgetting the guy's name now. He had the British commentator in the car. So the British commentator talking to him throughout the whole thing. I think he was driving, I don't think it was a Ferrari, but it was a car you'd buy as
a sports car.
It was a car you'd buy as a person, not as a race car, right? Okay. But like insanely fast still. Anyway, he spun it out into the dirt. And I'm thinking, oh my God, there's a car manufacturer got to repaint this whole amazing car. And I was just killing myself laughing. And the kid's like, you can't be talking to me when I'm driving like this. and the British announcer is just having himself a great time. He says, what do you mean I can't talk to you about it? We're not going this. And he kept talking to him, and he spins the thing out. Anyway, nobody was hurt, which was a big thing.
Oh my God.
And the commentators thought it was the greatest thing that could ever happen to him.
For sure.
Got a story for the rest of his life. Right in the stones with probably what was a $300,000 or $400,000 or maybe $1 million car. I don't know.
Oh my God!
But $300,000 or $400,000 somewhere in there. It was one of those really special cars. So anyway, it was hilarious, and he was so embarrassed. This rookie they put on there.
Poor guy.
Talk to him. Anyway, it was too funny. Lots of great things around the shows, as we said. Unfortunately, we are not huge race fans simply because of the races are so predictable. But anyway, we enjoyed the show. I watched it all. I love the pits. I try and time it at the start. Here's how funny. When I'm flipping around different sports, try and find out what laps they're talking about pitting. And try and get back to the show.
Definitely. I mean, and by the
way,
on
a yellow when they all come in. I've never seen such insanity.
Oh, the insanity! But also the unsung heroes are these crew chiefs because they had Hamilton stay out there, which actually apparently won him the race.
Yeah, he was actually
when
second.
The one guy pitted for the tires, they actually kept him out there. He built big enough gap that when he eventually pitted, he was actually so far ahead that. So great driving, great maybe pit strategy there to outwin his teammate. The pits, the crew chiefs, everything is so much fun to watch. Yeah. It's the perfect Sunday morning though to kind of get you started. The big start, you can flip back.
I do love the fact they're in Europe. I mean, wake up
in the morning, 9 o'clock, man.
Nothing else on.
So they really hit all the spots for us. We wish there'd be a little bit more disparity in
just
who
more
wins.
Passing,
more passing in who wins. I'd love to see one-time F1. Throw yourself in an oval. I think that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, well, it all starts off with the announcers telling us that there's 3 places on the track to pass.
Yeah.
In the whole track. It's like 2.5 mile road course, and there's 3 places they have a shot at passing. And even the one race a couple weeks ago, they were so excited because it had the most passes of any race the year before, 50, which to me should be nothing when you watch an oval. But it still wasn't passes with the leaders. It was passes back in the pack. It's like, oh my God.
Well, I think
that's what you're trying to make exciting.
Yeah, like, I mean, really,
so anyway,
if Hamilton's in the top 2, he basically pulls out the win. I think the most impressive was last year. He came from 4th to 1st to win. That would have been something special.
And hey, we're on YouTube. But if you don't agree with us, feel free to jump over there where you can leave comments. The show will be there. So we look forward to getting comments all the time. It was really great for the show. We certainly got a couple from Cleveland Brown fans when we did the Cleveland Browns camp. So go ahead and give us feedback. We love it. Other than that, we'll be back with the next races and talk about the pre-show, the pits, and we'll do the show right after the second lap. We'll know who's going to win.
Well,